So the buzz around artificial general intelligence, AGI, it's pretty much undeniable, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Everywhere you look.
And it often conjures up these, vivid images straight out of science fiction.
Right. Super intelligent systems doing literally anything a human can.
But for this deep dive, we really want to cut through all that noise. We're focusing on something maybe more tangible, more immediate anyway.
Yeah, it's economic contours. That's our mission today.
Yeah.
We're going to unpack a really, I think, compelling conversation from a recent article, The Economic Contours of Artificial General Intelligence.
And what's good about this one?
Well, what's particularly insightful is that it doesn't get totally bogged down in, deep technical jargon.
Ah, good.
Instead, it really zeroes in on AGI's potential impact on labor markets, this fascinating question of human-AI substitutability.
Right. Can one actually replace the other?
Exactly. And also how society might actually adopt this technology. It's not just about capability.
Okay, so for you, the listener, our key question is, what does it really mean for AGI to reshape our economy?
Mm-hmm.
And what are the surprising, maybe under-discussed gaps that still exist between current AI capabilities and, true job-level economic transformation? Let's try and unpack this.
Yeah, let's do it. So when we approach AGI from this economic perspective, the article defines it quite specifically.
How so?
It's the ability to perform at least 95–98% of jobs as well as, or even better than, a human.
Wow, 95 to 98%.
Yeah, and crucially, faster and cheaper, too. That's part of the economic definition.
That seems like an incredibly high bar. I mean, given where AI is now, is that 95, 98% figure, is it realistic or more of a theoretical target for now?
It's definitely a high bar, yeah. And the article really frames it as the threshold for true AGI impact.
Okay.
And it also pinpoints white-collar work as the sort of near-term focus for this kind of automation.
Right. White collar specifically.
Well, the argument is primarily because these roles largely involve manipulating information, which is precisely where AI, currently excels. Robotics, for more blue-collar work, it still faces pretty significant physical world challenges. Much harder to overcome right now.
That makes sense.
So while current AI models show really impressive reasoning capabilities, maybe on specific tasks,
Yeah, we see that all the time.
they haven't yet translated those skills into the kind of massive job-level economic value that AGI implies. There's just the substantial difference between a model that can answer complex questions and one that can actually do an entire job continually, day in, day out, for an employer.
That distinction is really important, isn't it? Between just reasoning and generating real economic value.
Exactly.
So even if AI can handle some of the reasoning parts of a job, where are the practical gaps? What stops it from truly replacing humans across a whole role? What's the human advantage AI hasn't quite cracked?
Well, this is what's truly fascinating, I think. Even when AI can perform certain reasoning tasks really well, it still seems to struggle to replace humans in roles that need what the article calls continual learning.
Continual learning, like learning on the job.
Precisely. Think about it. A person integrates feedback over weeks, months, to get better at their job, right? They refine efficiency. They retain context over long periods.
We all do that.
But current AI models, they fundamentally can't sustain that level of persistent understanding beyond, say, a single session or maybe a specific fine-tuning process.
So they sort of or reset.
It's almost like they start fresh every time, yeah. They lose all that cumulative wisdom, that context built over time.
Okay, so if that persistent, evolving understanding, the continual learning is the human edge right now,
Seems to be a big part of it.
how does this continual learning deficit, as you called it, how does that translate into an economic mismatch? Why can't AI generate the same value as a human employee, even with all its computing power?
That's precisely it. That deficit means current AI lacks the ability to build that persistent understanding across interactions.
Unlike people.
Unlike human employees who gain experience, evolve their skills, adapt to feedback constantly, prompt engineering or doing a one-off fine-tuning.
Yeah, those are powerful techniques.
They are powerful, but they simply don't equate to true on-the-job adaptation and learning over time.
Right.
And when we connect this to the bigger picture, there's a real economic mismatch. Humans often generate far greater net value per month for employers than current AI can replicate.
Because of that ongoing improvement.
Exactly. That value is built on that variability to continually learn and adapt in the role.
It makes perfect sense. If the output isn't consistently improving or retaining context from past interactions, the full economic value just isn't there yet.
Not in the same way, no.
But let's consider another angle. Let's say, hypothetically, AI could perfectly replicate certain jobs today.
Yeah.
Is there still a question of consumer adoption?
Ah, yes. Demand versus capability.
Would people actually want AI-generated content or services? Or do we, as consumers, just have a built-in human preference sometimes?
That's a really critical question, and the answer is probably complex.
Mm-hmm.
Even if AI could technically perform certain jobs perfectly, people might still prefer human-created output, maybe for cultural reasons or trust reasons, at least initially.
We see that sometimes.
We do. Though we've also seen historical parallels with new tech, right? The article mentions Waymo, the self-driving car company, versus Uber.
Yeah.
Adoption barriers, like trusting a self-driving car, they were overcome, or are being overcome, once consumers clearly saw the functional benefits, the convenience.
So function can eventually trump preference.
It often does. The article also suggests there might be a generational shift. Maybe younger audiences care less about whether a creator is human.
And more about the output itself.
Exactly. Focusing instead on quality, immediacy, maybe novelty.
That's interesting. It also makes me think, historically, most tools, hammers, spreadsheets, they've actually complemented human labor. They made us better or faster.
Right. Augmentation, not replacement, has been the norm.
So why do you think so many people view AI differently?
Mm.
As this technology that's aiming for, like, total human replacement? Where does that perception come from?
It's an interesting perception shift, isn't it, despite that long history you mentioned?
Yeah.
Many view AI as aiming for perfect replacement. Perhaps it's due to its wide-ranging capabilities, the way it mimics human-like functions like language and reasoning. It feels different.
It feels more general purpose.
Maybe so.
No.
What's fascinating here is that the article suggests a hybrid future is actually pretty likely. AI working alongside humans, complementing roles.
Okay, so not full replacement everywhere.
Probably not, at least not soon. However, it also highlights a key economic reality, the sheer cost advantages of AI.
The money side.
Yeah, what it calls AI's low subsistence wages, meaning no salary, no benefits, no need for breaks.
Right, none of the overheads of a human employee.
Exactly. That massive cost difference will always incentivize replacing human labor when it's genuinely possible and efficient to do so. The economic pressure is real.
So we have this tension. On one side, people who strongly believe AGI will automate a massive share of economic tasks.
The strong proponents, yes.
And then those who are more skeptical, perhaps focusing on these current limitations like continual learning.
Mm-hmm.
But even the skeptics, they aren't really saying never, are they? It sounds more nuanced.
That's the key nuance, I think. Even the people who are skeptical are often reluctant to declare certain human abilities permanently beyond AI's reach. Nobody wants to make that definitive prediction.
Right, because the technology moves so fast.
Exactly. So this raises an important question. As AI continues to develop, even with its current limitations, the conversation isn't really about if it will change things.
But how much and how fast?
Precisely.
Okay, so let's recap a bit. We've explored AGI not just as some sci-fi concept, but really through the lens of economic value.
Mm-hmm. What actually makes it useful, economically speaking?
We've dissected where current AI stands in terms of truly replacing human labor, especially focusing on that often overlooked power of continual learning.
That human ability to adapt and grow within a role over time.
Yeah. And we've considered the practical barriers, the consumer adoption puzzle.
And that historical tension between tools that substitute versus those that just complement our work.
We've truly tried to dive into what makes AGI economically meaningful and maybe highlight some of those fascinating gaps that still remain between current AI and, widespread job automation.
It's a complex picture, for sure.
So what does this all mean for you, the learner, listening to this? If AGI truly aims to perform, let's say, 95, 98% of jobs as well as or better than a human,
That high bar we talked about.
yet it still struggles with things like continual learning and retaining context over time, skills we humans frankly take for granted.
Things we just do.
This raises a really important question, doesn't it? As AI evolves, maybe our biggest challenge won't just be technological, but maybe philosophical.
How so?
Well, how might our definition of value in the workplace need to adapt when the very nature of learning and adaptation on the job starts to shift?
Ah, I see. If AI handles the repetitive learning.
What truly makes human intelligence uniquely valuable then? especially in a world potentially shaped by these increasingly capable, maybe even alien intelligences?
That's a deep question. What is the unique human contribution when AI gets better and better at the tasks?
Exactly. Something to mull over.